I want to open up my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Evil Space Alien Bones figure here. The 8-inch size, bigger monster figures from 1993 when the show first started. Just to go over him because he's a kind of a cool character very, very early on in the show, episode 2. But I just wanted to get a fresh version of him because mine as a kid kind of got a little dirty on the cape. And it looks like his little feather in his cap always seems to break. I even got my friends here as an example, and same thing happened to him. So get a repaired feather here with a brand new one out of the box. I always love the packaging for these with like Rita's staff here as the window. She's actually the picture behind there. Too bad she didn't get a big figure like this, sadly. Then he has a wacky made-up bio on the side with jokes like age, one eternity, hobbies, fossil collecting, lol. Bones is the result of an intergalactic diet gone haywire. I don't remember that in the show. He's one of the most fearsome of Rita's creations. He appears suddenly out of nowhere, his skeletal body and eyes glaring. Unfortunately, he has a tendency to fall apart in a crisis. Just kind of looking at like the other monsters and stuff on the back and just very early toys that they had. Not a lot. It's just kind of funny to see. But anywho. Twist tied in the box. He was called Dora Skeleton in the original Japanese show, which I did enjoy getting and watching through, just so you could get to see more of the monsters and some of the stuff that kind of got edited out of the Power Ranger recut. Lots more bones fighting in the original Japan show. There's the big Rita picture, which is cool. Actually one of the few aliens from these to get a more show accurate accessory, because usually they just kind of made up wacky weapons for them. Bones here seem to got his real sword for the most part, although he gets a little goofier one when they get into his weird like realm. But right away we got the feather in his nice little hat. We have to be careful with the rim piece because I believe that's just glued on. Here we can see one where it's kind of come undone, and you could probably wrestle this off if you want, but it can snap off there if you're not careful. So, and of course the broken feather problem. Probably just in the toy box messing around and something move and chop it off, or one drop and that's going to snap off. So be careful with my new version here, but freaking terrifying eyes. Different than the show one because they kind of do like the Headless Horseman style costume in the show, where like the torso like goes over the actor's head and then he has the head on top because it can kind of come off and float off of him. So they kind of made a more realistic body. It almost makes him creepier. He's not like that extra tall, but he's like one of the tallest ones. Of the 8-inch line, the rest of them are all that, but since he has the hat and the feather, he's like up to 10 inches tall. Gets a soft goods cape, colored on both sides, so it looks pretty cool. The pink goes with the stripe on his hat. I just love these bigger alien dudes, because look at all like the sculpting of his, like his bones and stuff, and it has like these color splotches, and he's got like his gear, like a belt. Pretty crazy anatomy kind of stuff to him. Even has a belt clip here where his sword can go right in. You can hold that on him, or he has the holding hand there that he can hold his sword, of course. So super early on, where the Power Rangers just kind of defeated him like on the ground, didn't even get to a Zord battle with him. And I like that watching the show, like it started to progress, you know, they didn't use the Zords like right away every time until later in the show, where they just would quickly skip to that segment, give the monster a slice, and that was about it. A little more creative way they had to defeat Bones there, get his head. But one that always stuck with me because it was such an early episode, you know, you're kind of like seeing the show just start, you don't know what's really going to happen in the episode, and then I had the toy of him, so obviously I was using him a lot to fight the other Power Rangers and stuff, even though he's just in one episode and they beat him fairly quickly in that one episode. Always played with this one a lot. One of the few monsters that had like unique putties with them, which is kind of weird. I thought they did that a lot more than you would think. He had little skeleton putty guys with them. What I really found crazy was looking up the toys in Japan. They didn't really ever make the monsters. That was just stuff they made for here in the US once they kind of brought the show over and chopped it all up in editing. They knew we wanted to have like all the monsters and stuff to have the Power Rangers fight something. In Japan they would just release figures and then the transforming Zord stuff, the robots, and then that was the toy. Like I don't know what you were playing. Once they transformed and stuff, there was nothing to fight. From the shows that they were from, I guess you could get other kaiju figures or something, but You would have thought the design of this was very like Japan, and I'm sure a Japan toy company and designer made it, of course, but it wasn't like from the show releasing this toy in Japan. It was made for the Power Ranger release. I just thought that was odd that they didn't have some of the monsters to fight with the transforming robot toys. I thought that was kind of the point. Have some monsters to beat up on. Like very Halloween without really being anything specific. Just the skeleton, but then with the fancy hat and cape. I don't know, he's just like... Probably supposed to be something like a headless horseman, just no horse going on there. Creepy, and they didn't tone down his scariness, so he's just really cool. I got my intact feather I'll take care of. I'll keep trying to show my old Power Ranger stuff. We'll see how far we can get with all sorts of monsters and Zords and the Rangers themselves in different forms, of course, too. Can't wait to start going through the Zords, because that's the meat of the playing. So for this and more 90s action figures, I show all sorts of lines and stuff if you want to check them out. Click the channel and just go right in, look through some playlists of all sorts of stuff. There's got to be multiple things that you probably like if you found this video and got this far into it. Seeing old Bones here. Did you have Bones? Did you break his feather? Seems like they all got broke.